for the Elite Eight. We are into the Sweet 16 right now. The winners of tonight's game will be into the Elite Eight. 4 games on tap for us to discuss here on Cutting Nets. Gino, Eric, Biho, and Leo here with our crew tonight. Fellas, it was a crazy week last week. Ton of upsets, some good, some bad for us, but we get right back on the horse today with 4 games this evening, and the biggest point spread of the evening begins in our first game. Eric, the number 1 overall team in the tournament, Gonzaga, they haven't looked fantastic through their first 2 games. In fact, their free throw shooting has been like abysmal. But the second half, they looked pretty good last week against Memphis. Timmy started to really dominate that game in the second half. Now they're close to a double-digit favorite here against an Arkansas team who they haven't really looked good in either of those games. If they had played either opponent that was maybe a little bit better, they might have gotten beat. So Gonzaga as a heavy favorite here versus Arkansas over under 155. Sort of give us some of your handicap of this game.
Tough game, like real interesting matchup here. I know Arkansas's 4-1 as dogs this year. I'm just looking at it. I have no stake in this game. For me, if Arkansas has any chance of staying within this number, they're going to need a godlike effort from Norte, and he's just been so inconsistent to start the tournament. But I will give Gonzaga credit. I mean, Georgia State, all of us agree they weren't a 16 seed. Mm-hmm. That was a tough game, a little tighter until Georgia State's big man went out. And they were down 10 at halftime, I believe, to Memphis. So, I mean, Zags are a little bit battle-tested. At the end of the day, I think the size is just too much. But with it being such a big number, I have no stake in the game.
Biho, Zaga versus Arkansas. Which way are you leaning in this one?
Yeah, I'm like Eric. I'm not playing this game. I think that number's too big. But, I mean, can Gonzaga hit it? Absolutely, they can. Arkansas has cost me twice already. You brought up Timmy last game. And it made me think of something because I'm watching that game. I'm on the phone with Blackjack. Do you know how strikingly he resembles Christian Laettner when he does that age?
Yeah.
Like he's got the same. It's like, who's this guy's dad? Like, are we sure this isn't Laettner's kid? Because they look a lot alike, and he was playing a lot like Christian Laettner last game. So I expect Gonzaga to win the game, but for as far as point spread, I can't touch this one.
Biho Lenardi, keep an eye on your connection. You were kind of being a little bit fuzzy there. We heard everything that you were saying, but you were starting to break up a bit. Leo, Gonzaga, Arkansas, I kind of agreed with the fellas. Like, of the other 3 games tonight, I like the other 3 games. I'm actually playing all the other 3 games. This is one that I probably am not going to play. I don't lay big numbers. I think Gonzaga can probably get the job done. I feel like they just might be a little too big. Like Arkansas has Williams, but if he's taking care of Holmgren, then who's got Timmy? I just don't know if matchup wise they're going to be able to withstand them. Like Eric said, if Note scores 30 and has like an awesome game, he can keep them in the game. I'm leaning Gonzaga with the number, but I'm probably not going to get involved myself. What about you, buddy?
Yeah, this is my least confident of the 4 games tonight. But everybody, shame on the 2 of you. It is the only Gino Piccolo's birthday today, so let me be the first one to say happy birthday, Gino.
Thank you, buddy. Thank you.
Come on, guys.
Wait, what? You're the first one to
on the show. I texted him. I texted him before too.
I will say, I got 3 nice texts from all 3 of you fellas today.
Come on,
so
guys.
I appreciate that. Yeah.
All that matters is what happens publicly.
But, it's like wrestling, right? If it doesn't happen on TV, it doesn't count. Nobody cares about what's going on in the house shows, right? So good stuff, Leo. I like that.
Oh, man. But I'm really not that confident in this game. My motto with Arkansas all year has been to take them as an underdog and fade them as a favorite. It's kind of one of those spots, like I really don't like it. I kind of hope that Note can go off a little bit. I think the number's a little bit too big. I haven't been overly impressed with Gonzaga. And Biho, I know how much you'd love to point out the fact that Arkansas flops a lot. And this is one of those games. They're going to need to flop a lot, and they're going to need to get a lot of the calls. Because if they do, if you can get Holmgren in some foul trouble and Timmy into some foul trouble, they got a real shot here. Small lean toward Arkansas plus the 9.5, but you should probably skip this one.
Arkansas 27-8, 20-14-1 against the spread. Gonzaga 28-3, 14-14-3 ATS. We move to the next game. We've got Villanova, Michigan here. And what's interesting about this game is I don't know, honestly, if of any of the other matchups I would have looked to play Michigan or play Michigan at the number, except for this one, based solely on the fact that Villanova is not big. They could have a really, really tough time with Dickinson. I think from a pure matchup standpoint, that could be something that keeps this game really close. We've seen Michigan kind of play sort of halves and then really lock down in the second half of games. Their defense has been pretty impressive. And I like what I've seen from the big man there. I think, again, he's going to have to be the one to dominate to keep them in this game. But I think at the number of 5, he can. I'm going to lean Michigan in here at the number. Let's get to you for this one, Leo. Villanova, Michigan.
Yeah, this may be my favorite play of the night. Actually, sorry, second favorite play of the night. But I love the over here. I know that you mentioned that Michigan has been able to lock down defensively at times, but they're very inconsistent defensively.
Oh, yeah.
You have a really good ball-moving team in Villanova. This team does not miss open shots. They love to create open shots. They're unselfish. But like you said, there's no size down low. Hunter Dickinson is going to do whatever the hell they want. They're going to eventually need to start double-teaming him. That's going to create open shots. And Michigan's been really good offensively. I think this number is way too low. I think it flies over 135.
Eric, Villanova, Michigan. I think you were against Michigan in round 1, but then you came back and played Michigan in round 2. Where do you land today?
I'm on the over 135.
Nice. There we go.
Thought process is this. I completely agree with what Leo's saying. Dickerson having a huge advantage inside. They're going to be able to get theirs anytime they want from him. But Michigan really struggles defending the pick and roll, and that's what Nova's going to look to do: pick and roll, a lot of catch and shoots.
Try to get the big man out and attack him with smalls, right? Put him in a disadvantage.
And Dixon hit what, two, 3 threes against Ohio State. So Michigan really struggles defending the pick and roll. And they also give up a lot of open 3-pointers. And I really think that the Tennessee game, don't get me wrong, I had Michigan plus 6.5, so I had no issue with Tennessee missing them. But I think Nova's going to make those shots. And also, Nova's the best 3-throw shooting team in all of college basketball, so they're not going to leave any points off the board. I love the over 135 here.
Yep, good call there. So a couple guys on the over. Beho, where do you land in this Villanova-Michigan game?
Yeah, I've been on Villanova for a while now, but I think you said it best, man. I hate this matchup for them. I love the matchup for Michigan. Michigan's playing really well. It's given almost a week for Juwan to game plan for this specific game. I don't know that I'd like it as much on the quick turnaround in the go to the Final Four, but I really like Michigan tonight. I'm taking Michigan. I don't need your points. I'm taking the money line.
Little money line action. So let's see on the number on the money line right now. You could get around plus 189. It's a very good number there. As I do think, honestly, we're here. These teams are good, but even Arkansas in the Gonzaga game, they'd have to play well. But Arkansas isn't so overmatched on a talent standpoint to where, like we said, if Note and Williams and some of those guys played really well and Gonzaga didn't play to their game, they could win. And some of these matchups, maybe 1 or 2 tomorrow that we talk about, still kind of look like, okay, that team might have got through the first weekend, but there might be in some trouble now. Week 2, we see that with some of the Cinderella teams that get through after a couple nice wins. They sort of ride that momentum. Doesn't seem that be the case tonight with, all pretty good basketball teams, to be fair. And we all no real small schools and sort of middle majors where we kind of question if they're going to be able to compete on an athletic level. So Nova, Michigan, game 2. This one goes at about 7:30 p.m. Eastern time. We've got Michigan at 19-14, 15-18 against the spread, and Nova 28-7, 18-16-1 ATS. Game 3 on the night. This one was right about 1, and I think it's kind of even more towards a pick 'em right now. It's sort of about even. So Beho, we've got Duke, we've got Texas Tech, we've got Duke at 30-6 overall, 18-16-2 ATS. We've got Texas Tech 27-9 overall, 22-14 ATS. The over under in this game around 137. So where do you lean?
I'm actually double checking my bet earlier because this line has completely flipped the other way since I bet it this morning. I think I actually locked this in Texas Tech laying the point.
Okay.
Yeah, I like their defense, man. I think their defense is going to be tough. Duke's going to have to shoot the three, and unless they're hitting at some obscene rate tonight, which would be an improvement from what they've done in the past, I don't see a way for them to get through it.
I was getting a little feedback there. I
Yeah,
think
I'm getting that
echoey.
too.
I'm not sure which one's that coming from, but just something to keep an eye on for all of us, fellas. Tech, Duke. Let's get to you, Leo. Which way are you leaning here? Number, total. What are you looking at?
Sound check. Sound check.
You sound good.
You're the only one.
All right, so it's not me this time. That's excellent news, folks. Hey, Piho, what do you think? I'm 2-0 so far on these public props. What do you think, buddy? You want to make it 3-0?
Let's do it.
You're not 2-0.
I'm 2-0. I'm 2-0 on the shows, buddy. I'm 2-0. You know what? Forget about you. I don't know why I'm even asking you. You know what, ladies and gentlemen? Here you go. I'm about to make it 3-0 for you. I was ready to sit here and tell people, oh, Texas Tech's going to win this game. I thought Texas Tech would be like a 4-point underdog. When I saw that this was even money, I said, this is Duke, especially after the way that they came back and beat Michigan State. Listen, that Michigan State team is not all that good. However, it's the way Duke won. We talked about it. Michigan State had to be competitive for 35 minutes. Let's see what this team really has. And you know what ended up happening? Duke rose to the occasion. They even covered your 6.5 points. For everybody that wanted to bet the Dukies here, I was not overly impressed with Texas Tech. I am going with Duke, and you know what? We're making it the public prop tonight. So if Duke wins and you retweet this show, we're giving away $250 in Nitro money, baby. Okay. That's right, nitrobetting.u, so you can continue to bet the rest of the weekend.
Just Duke. That's it.
Duke wins. As long as Coach K, this isn't Coach K's last game, you're golden.
That's it. That's a great public prop tonight. All you got to root is for the straight up Duke getting the W tonight against Texas Tech. Eric, which way are you leaning in this game?
All right. So can anyone name when the last time Duke played a top 40 defense was?
No.
That was back in November when they played Gonzaga.
Yeah.
Anyone know what Texas Tech is ranked defensively?
1.
They are ranked number 1. Now, Duke likes to get into the lane and drive to the middle and get to the rim. Can we name how many Power 5 conferences? So this isn't like Montana State or Bodunk State, whatever. How many Power 5 conferences had their lowest at the rim scoring production when they played Texas Tech?
No, but I like this. It's like trivia time with Eric.
17. 17.
Wow. I was gonna say 5.
No, 17 of them. Texas Tech, 97th according to Synergy percentile in getting out in fast break points, just because they are such an elite defense. And Duke is in the bottom 30% defending the fast break. I made the comment last week about Big 12 offenses freeing up. Texas Tech is averaging 12 points more. And then on the defensive end, since the beginning of March, if you look at defensive rankings, Duke is 192nd in the nation. I think Texas Tech is going to be able to force some turnovers. They're really going to limit what Duke wants to do, and they're going to exploit all these holes in what they like to do. I mean, Duke is Duke doesn't force turnovers. That's Texas Tech's one thing. And guys, I got news for you. Mark Adams, this dude can coach, man. He's an insanely underrated coach. So I like Texas Tech here. I actually like them in at -1 off openers.
Texas Tech here. I'm going to agree with you. I think the defense is going to be a little bit too much. The point that Eric hit was not that Duke's offense is very good, but they haven't really seen a defense like this. And it's going to be a little bit overwhelming for them early on in this game, I think. And so the key is Texas Tech offensively, right? They get into some lapses here and there. We saw what happened late in the last game where, they can go through some stretches, but this is a game they're going to be up for. They're going to be really pumped, and I think Texas Tech is the play here. So look for the best number you can get on Texas Tech is my play. Duke for the public prop, but we have one more game, and Arizona. Ooh, talk about teams getting a little bit lucky. They sort of snuck by that one. Might have been a foul at the end of the game at half court.
Might have been. Gino, come on,
might have been. There has been
it's
some
Doug Shouse. Okay, I'm glad you brought that up, and I'm sorry to interrupt and interject. No, please, but Doug Shouse has to be taken to task for this. This is what the SEC has dealt with all year long. That dude didn't stop blowing the whistle the final 4 minutes of that game to muck everything up and make it damn near unwatchable. And then the first foul look, again, if that play was made with 10 minutes to go in the game, they blow the whistle and not even consider it not a foul. But because of the lateness of the game, all of a sudden that wasn't a foul. Doug Shouse is a complete joke and should be banned for the rest of the tournament for that.
Yeah, it was pretty bad. And it was one of those things, it's like you knew when they went to overtime that Arizona was going to win. What's unfortunate, I guess if you're an Arizona backer, is Beho. This is something that you hit on for a while. This team is just better without Kerr, Krissa. I mean, they just don't I get why they want him to play, right? He's a guy like the leader, feisty guy, younger guy smaller guy gets everybody involved. He's a good teammate, that kind of stuff. A lot of intangibles, all that. But just being on the court, he's not a good shooter. The rest of their team is going to give him open looks, and teams are going to sag off him. He missed 3 consecutive shots in a row the other night,
and somehow they got the ball back.
And the problem isn't that he is a pretty poor shooter. It's just that he thinks he's a great shooter. He's not one of those point guards that's like, okay, you know what? I'm not a great shooter, so I'll just pass the ball. If he's open, and even when he's not open, sometimes he's going to fire it. And that's what gets him into trouble, because there's 3 or 4 other options that they have that are much better options offensively than what he's going to give them.
Yeah, I mean, you've heard me preaching it for weeks now. They're just better without him. And when he was in that game, they struggled. He had a miserable game as well. Look, I said it before. I'm going to say it again. I'm taking Houston here. I think Houston's a better team. As long as Kerr plays, I hope he plays all 40 minutes tonight, because I'm taking Houston. I don't need the points. Give me the money line. Arizona has not – well, I mean, they should have been beat last game. So, again, I think Houston's going to pressure Kerr because he struggles under pressure. I think they will look to be on him like fleas on a dog, or whatever other analogy you want to use. It's just not good for him. They're way too athletic for Kerr, and this is good. That's going to be their downfall. This is not a time to not worry about hurt feelings. You're trying to get to the Final Four here. It's not a good play for them.
Eric, what I have a difficult time with this matchup is that, and I'm wondering if you did too, because I didn't think you were that high on Houston for a lot towards the end of the year, and I know you weren't very high on Arizona. So for me, if you're just like looking at the players on the court and stacking them up, Arizona from a talent standpoint has so much more, and a depth standpoint and just top tier talent, but they have not been playing all that well. I mean, their last game was not that great compared to a Houston team who's actually, I don't love a lot of what they did throughout the year. I'm not sure who they really beat a lot of the times, but wow, they're like, a lot of their advanced metrics are incredible. They're like the number 2 team in Ken Palm rankings, which is kind of crazy because they don't really have a tough schedule. And that's one of the things, but in a lot of the metrics, they have really good offense, really good defense. Like, they check the boxes for a team that could win it all. They're 10th overall offensively. They're 10th overall defensively. They're super solid. I came into the tournament thinking Arizona had one of the best sort of roads to get there, but just the way I've seen them play the last couple games, I don't know if I still feel that way. And Houston's played pretty well. Am I getting too overreacty to last weekend? Tell us what you think about this game.
I look at it like this. I think in terms of matchup with the round before, Arizona got the best matchup because TCU is the best offensive rebounding team in all of college basketball. Arizona is number 3. Not serious, excuse me. Houston's number 3. So they're prepared for the pressure they're going to face on the offensive glass from Houston. Houston was able to take advantage of Kofi's lack of athleticism because they were putting him in pick and roll situations. Arizona's big man, and I'm not even going to pronounce his name because I will totally butcher it. He is really good defending pick and roll, way more athletic. So he's going to be able to come out and not get that matchup that Houston was able to get against Illinois. And then I just look at this whole Arizona team. They're athletic, they're lengthy. The closest team that resembles this is Memphis, and Houston struggled with Memphis.
They lost
losing
2
out of 3. I think Arizona is going to go bigger to limit Houston's offensive glass. And the stat that I just keep on coming back to is teams are only shooting 32% on wide open threes. UAB missed a lot of open shots. Illinois missed a lot of open shots.
That's something that'll likely flip the other way.
Arizona's gonna hit some open looks. I think they're gonna hit them. I like Zona here. I locked them in at -1.5.
Zona for Eric. Leo, finish us up with Arizona, Houston.
Yeah, this line is asinine. I mean, it really, really is. You want to talk about a massive overreaction. This line should be about 5 to 6 points. When you get to 5 to 6, we can start talking about Houston. But guys, we were talking about Arizona as one of the best teams coming into this tournament, but now all of a sudden they're not because they beat TCU and they got a little lucky on the call. Like that was a clear-cut foul.
Hold on. To be fair, they had been declining for a couple weeks leading into the tournament. We mentioned on this show a few times about how they kind of just plateaued out leading into the conference tournament.
Yeah, they flat-zoned out by winning the Pac-12 tournament. Whew, brutal. Then again, the Pac-12 is embarrassing, right, Gino? But
I was gonna say, got a couple teams.
I mean, listen, we're overreacting to those Houston wins. If you watch that UAB game, I think the moment was just too big for UAB early. They tried to battle back. They didn't have it in them. In that Illinois game, I said it right. Illinois. Listen, Illinois was just so focused on giving the ball to Kofi that they forgot how to run offense. And it was painful to watch. I mean, that coach is a moron. He has no clue what he's doing. It was painful to watch Illinois lose that game. That was way more about Illinois losing than it was Houston taking it from them. And you know what? And again, I just come back to this. Arizona is a much better team. They're much deeper. They're much more talented. And Eric, you absolutely nailed it. I mean, I guess style-wise, you can sort of compare them to Memphis, except Arizona's about 4 times better than Memphis. What the hell do we think is going to happen here? -1.5 points is a joke. This line should be 6 points. This is asinine. You should be smashing Arizona tonight.
Leo, very confident on the Arizona side. This was one that was tough for me just to go either way. I feel like Gonzaga gets the job done. As far as the line is concerned, didn't love that one as much. I'm leaning Michigan, though, and Texas Tech there. 4-game slate tonight, 4 more games tomorrow. We'll be back here with you 6:30 or 6 o'clock p.m. Eastern time. We'll preview it, and then we'll have a special edition of Mohawk Mania on Saturday night. Beho, we moved that from Thursday because there's going to be a big mandatory payout in the Super High 5. So we're going to talk a little bit about the early pick 5. We'll also preview that mandatory High 5. So we'll have some Saturday Mohawk Mania Saturday morning. We'll let you know in the next few hours what time will be Saturday and Sunday morning. Probably just our normal time for cutting nets at 10 a.m. Eastern time, most likely there. So, fellas, before we get out of here, we got to mention the great collaboration we've got going on with Old Smoke Clothing and the BTV I Don't Bet, I Win shirt, $30, and the promo code GINO will get you free shipping on your order. And this is a great way to support us. We have a lot of these shows. We covered every single football game for you, previews for all those games, holidays, early games, all the bracket stuff. Everything we always do is free. All the content is free. We just want to help everybody. We want to share all the information that we've got, that we were lucky enough to learn from someone through the years. And if you want to show a little support for us, you can help us out by going and purchasing one of these t-shirts. Toss in that promo code. It'll save you the shipping cost. These shirts are great. If you're a horse racing fan too, you really want to check out this site because they have a lot of different horses, a lot of different shirts based on famous horse names, racetracks. And, if you're a fan of racing, there aren't really stores that you just go to at the mall that are like horse racing themed. So this is a really cool shop, and you'll really get an opportunity to see a lot of stuff that you won't find other places. I don't bet I win. And even if you don't win, folks, we won't know. We won't tell anyone. You can wear the shirt and act like you win. So
we won't tell your wives, I promise.
Yeah, it's all good. Eric, buddy, good luck to you tonight, and good luck to your sis. I know waiting on a new family member to arrive. Beho, my friend, you have a great rest of your night. Good luck. Leo, buddy, you crush it tonight, and we will be back here tomorrow, 6:00 p.m. Eastern time for another edition of Cutting Nets. We'll have the next 4 teams that are going to make it into